This is the first time in the history of astrology that something is happening only for Sagittarius and never for any other sign. If you're hearing these words, it isn't a coincidence. The universe is calling Sagittarius, and a door has just opened for you, a door no other soul can walk through. Very soon, a divinely orchestrated shift will appear, a turning point that only Sagittarians with a certain frequency will experience. Don't leave, because in just a moment, you'll understand why God, or your guiding force, is preparing a gift that has never existed before. If you can already feel that energy stirring inside your chest, leave a comment and activate it with one simple sentence. I am ready to step into the destiny made for Sagittarius. And this is only the first signal. Why is Sagittarius being singled out? Why is this event not happening to any other zodiac sign? In the next chapter, I'll reveal the secret behind this fate. Not every Sagittarius is chosen, but if you're hearing these words, it means your name is already on the list. There are souls born to blend in, to live peacefully in the arms of the world, but there are other souls who never came here to stay. They came to open pathways, to plant belief, to burn through old limits, and lead the ones who arrive after. And in the astrological map of the universe, no symbol represents that kind of soul more clearly than Sagittarius. People who carry Sagittarius energy are not hard to understand because they're mysterious. They're hard to understand because they are so honest. They reach into the deepest parts of others without trying. They're not afraid of truth. They're not afraid of change. They're not afraid of losing anything, as long as the path feels right to their spirit. In a world where identities are built from the need to be approved, Sagittarius is the one who dares to lose everything, as long as they don't lose the fire inside. Have you ever felt like your life is one long journey, with no finish line, that every time you try to stop, something inside you pushes you forward again? That isn't restlessness. That is your soul waking up. In astrology, Jupiter isn't just the planet of luck. Jupiter is expansion, not just of money or opportunities, but of belief, intuition, spirituality, and vision. Souls guided by Jupiter are the ones who refuse to live inside a box and refuse to let others define their worth. Jupiter opens mental doorways that the soul didn't know existed before, and every time a Sagittarius awakens, a new layer of consciousness unlocks, not just for them, but for everyone around them. You're not only living your own life, you're living a part of something greater that's trying to unfold. In the zodiac wheel, the 9th house is the realm of learning, faith, travel, and soul mission. When your spirit is touched by this energy, you stop living as an isolated being, and you become part of a much bigger plan. A plan written long before you were born. Those marked by the 9th house often feel that life is made up of a series of soul journeys. Sometimes it's physical travel, other times it's inward, but it always starts with leaving the comfort zone to find something real, so real it shatters illusion. We weren't born to live in pretense. Only a few are brave enough to break it. Sagittarius is one of them. It's no accident that the symbol of Sagittarius is half human, half horse, aiming its arrow at the sky. That image says one thing clearly. Sagittarius is the bridge between instinct and spirit, between the human world and the higher realm, between old limits and the open future. Every Sagittarius carries a secret covenant inside, a calling to search for a greater truth, something beyond logic, beyond doctrine, beyond outdated beliefs. That is why the life of Sagittarius is rarely easy, because those chosen to lead must walk the path first before it becomes a path. You don't travel to find the answer. You travel to become the answer someone else is looking for. In many Western spiritual systems, there is a belief. The divine does not choose the strongest. He chooses the brave. Strength can be built, but courage comes from the soul. When the guiding one chooses you, you won't be given an easy road. You won't be given an instruction manual, but you will be given a heart that refuses to give up, a soul that cannot be extinguished, and an intuition that never stops alerting you. You may have been misunderstood, you may have been isolated, you may have been betrayed, but if you still carry your inner fire, that alone is the proof you were chosen. Because light cannot appear without darkness to test it. I used to think freedom meant you could leave whenever you wanted, but after many years I realized true freedom is when you no longer need to run from anything to be yourself. Sagittarius is the journey back to your most sacred nature, where you no longer need approval, no longer need applause, no longer need permission to exist. You live by your own fate, and you are strong enough to be real, even when it sets you apart. The closer you get to truth, the fewer people will walk with you, but you won't fear solitude anymore, because you'll know you're on the right path. If you're reading these words, and a part of your heart is quietly vibrating, that's not an accident. Leave behind a simple affirmation, not just for yourself, but for the entire universe. I am ready to step into the destiny made only for Sagittarius. Your comment isn't just a sentence, it's an activation, a frequency shift, a soul-level yes to what's about to arrive. And if you feel like you're standing at a threshold, as if something massive is approaching but you can't name it yet, you're absolutely right. Because in the next chapter, we'll dive into a phenomenon that has never happened to anyone else. But it's coming, and it's coming to you. So prepare yourself, because this event won't wait until you're ready. It won't knock gently. It will come like a wave, and you'll have a choice: ride it, or be swept away. Do you feel something drawing near, yet you can't quite name it? A strange movement in your soul, like the universe exhaling right through you. You might not be sure, you might not see it clearly, but you feel it, and that is where everything begins. There are moments in life that don't come to destroy you. They come to destroy the old version of you, the one you've outgrown, but haven't been brave enough to leave behind. And right now, dear Sagittarius, you are standing at that edge. At this very moment, a rare alignment is tightening, a sacred geometry in the sky, touching the core of Sagittarius energy. Jupiter, your soul's teacher, is forming connections with powerful outer planets: Uranus, Pluto, Neptune. This is not one of those soft, subtle shifts you felt before. This is when the stars start speaking louder, in the language of collapse, awakening, and rebirth. When Jupiter touches Pluto, hidden truths must come into the light. There's no more gray area, no more pretending. What you once thought was forever may now fall apart. But don't be afraid. What isn't truly yours must leave, so what belongs to your soul can finally enter. Don't think of this as a loss. Think of it as a clearing, to make space for what you truly deserve. In ancient astrology, when slow-moving planets form a strong link with Jupiter, they called it divine warning. But not everyone hears it. Sagittarius does. You are the sign of spiritual journey. The one who hears first, understands first, and transforms first, so the events coming to you may seem strange. You may lose something you believed was foundational. A relationship, a job, a place, a habit. You may meet someone whose soul feels familiar, even though you've never met. You may find yourself standing at a crossroads. You didn't choose with logic, but with a knowing you can't ignore, and then you'll wake up, not because someone taught you, but because your soul was finally ready to remember who you are. Some losses aren't losses, they are realignments with fate. And yes, there will be days when you feel like you're breaking from within. No one warns you. There are no signs, no instructions. But there's one thing you need to remember: you're not being punished, you're being called back home. The universe never sends a breakdown without hiding a soul gift inside it. But that gift is only revealed when you're strong enough to keep walking without dragging old versions of yourself behind. If you've ever looked up at the sky and whispered, "Why me?" Listen closely. The answer has no words, but it sounds like this. Because only you have the strength to walk through it and turn that pain into light for someone else. Sagittarius was never born to just live their life. You carry a kind of ancient inspiration, where every scar you wear becomes a lighthouse for someone else who forgot how to believe. You have no idea who's silently watching your journey, but someone out there is rediscovering their faith just because you chose to stand back up. When Jupiter brushes up against Neptune, a kind of spiritual fog may appear. You won't see clearly. You won't know where you're going. The road ahead may feel blurry, unreal. But it doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're being asked to walk by feeling, not by logic anymore. These moments often happen right before destiny breaks open, where fog is just a curtain hiding a miracle. God doesn't always speak in clear words. Sometimes he speaks in silence, and in the soft confusion of becoming. You may have heard many predictions, many forecasts, many spiritual timelines. But this time is different, because this isn't something happening to everyone. It's not global, it's not collective. This was designed just for you. The energetic system you're interacting with was coded before you were even born, and now it's activating. only because you've finally touched the frequency that unlocks it. You might not have proof, but you feel something inside you changing. It's as if a door has opened, and you just realized you've had the key all along. This moment is only for you, not for anyone else. No repeat, no replacement. If you're still here, it means your soul has heard the call, and if you've heard it, you've already begun the journey, even if you haven't named it yet. Now is not the time to ask, am I worthy of this? Now is the time to remember, you were always chosen. If there was a line in this message that touched your heart, if you've been feeling like something is shifting, but you can't name it yet, write this down. I feel something is coming closer, and I open my heart to receive it. This comment isn't for others to see, it's for the universe to know that you are ready. You think this is the climax, not even close. In the next part, you'll discover why this turning point is actually the beginning of your greatest path yet, and why everyone who left you was part of a divine plan far bigger than your pain. Don't leave this journey, because the best part is still waiting for you to arrive. There's something mysterious about Sagittarius. They keep walking, even when no one walks beside them. And what's even more mysterious is that something, some unseen force, always clears the path ahead of them, quietly but surely. Maybe you've called it intuition, or a strong gut feeling, or just knowing. But those who have gone far enough, those who have knelt deep enough, and lifted their heads at just the right moment, begin to realize it was the hand of divine guidance all along. You don't need to give it a name. You don't need to pick a religion, but there is always something, a higher presence, a sacred intelligence, going one step ahead of you, placing the stone right where your foot will land, pulling you out of what you thought was forever, and setting you back on the track of your true mission. There's a moment in every journey when logic can no longer save you. No one understands you. No one stays. No one reaches for your hand. All that's left is you, and something you can't even name, but it's still there. It speaks through intuition. It sends signs through strange synchronicities. It opens doors that once seemed sealed shut, and it falls silent, just so you can learn how to hear with your soul, not your ears. There is no great journey made for the fearful, and no challenge comes your way unless you already have the strength to walk through it. In Western spirituality, God isn't just a deity. God is a higher current of energy, a higher plan, a divine architecture far beyond what our minds can grasp. And in that plan, Sagittarius isn't a watcher. Sagittarius is a mover. That's why you're constantly pushed beyond your comfort zone. That's why things you thought were forever disappear. That's why you always feel like you arrive before the rest. Not because you were early, but because you were sent. These challenges, they weren't meant to break you. They were meant to wake you up. When you lose someone you thought you'd always have, when you leave a place you once called home, when you're forced to let go of a love you swore was fated, remember, that is not the end. That is the moment. You just passed a test of faith. The universe is not punishing you. It's checking. Do you have enough trust to hold onto the mission you were born with? Because only when you keep walking, even in uncertainty, will you reach the position that was always meant for you. There's a fragile stage, a sacred in-between, when you already know what no longer fits, but the new chapter hasn't quite formed yet. That moment feels like standing in front of a gate of light, one that only the brave dare to cross. No one pushes you. No one pulls you. But if you step forward, you'll see what's waiting on the other side isn't some fantasy heaven. It's your rightful place, the one your soul chose before you were even born. You weren't chosen to escape suffering. You were chosen to transform suffering into your sacred post, and from that post to become a guide for others. Sagittarius has something rare, a sacred connection between faith and freedom. You don't follow blind belief. You don't repeat other people's words. You question, you fall, you rise, you doubt, and then you find your own truth. That is the deepest kind of faith, the kind built from lived experience. And because of that, you are trusted to lead not through theory, but through the way you live, the way you rise, the way you love, the way you lose, the way you forgive, and the way you continue on. The brightest light makes no sound. It just shines quietly. So if you feel like you're being called back home, you're not crazy. And if it feels like you're losing everything, maybe, just maybe, you're being realigned to finally stand where you were always meant to. And if everything in this video is striking something deep inside your soul, then maybe you already know You are the chosen one, not because you're perfect, but because you've stayed honest with what's true inside of you. So take a moment to write your own vow, a simple affirmation to lock in this energy. I will no longer run from my mission. I welcome the light and the role given to Sagittarius. But still, one big question remains. If I've truly been chosen, then what exactly was I chosen for? Did the people who left me have anything to do with my divine plan? In the next chapter, you'll unlock something deeper. Who are the souls that came and went in your life? And what role did they play in the larger mission your soul came here to fulfill? This is no longer a story for your mind. This is a journey of remembering from a soul that is beginning to rise. Have you ever wondered why you had to go through things that broke you? Why every door seemed to close at the same time? Why it had to be you, the one who carried, who surrendered, who fell? It's not because you're weak. It's not because you're unlucky. It's not because something's wrong with you. It's because you were chosen to go through it first, so one day you could lead others through it too. Some souls were born to enjoy life. Some were born to learn their own lessons, but some, like you were born to become a symbol of survival, of rising, of healing. You don't have to be the smartest, the most gifted, or the most flawless. You just have to be the one who's brave enough to stay honest with your pain and still choose to love life anyway. The way you rise after the fall is the light for someone still lying in the dark. You have no idea, someone out there is watching you from a distance, not with their eyes, but with the last piece of hope they still have. They've seen you walk through heartbreak. They've seen you forgive someone who didn't deserve it. They've seen you start over when everyone expected you to give up. And in that moment, they whisper to themselves, if Sagittarius can get back up, maybe I can try too. You don't need to try to inspire people. Your honest existence is already doing that. In America, we celebrate personal freedom, but we also honor responsibility to our community. In Sagittarius, you are the perfect embodiment of that truth. You are free to be fully yourself. And yet, you know you don't live only for yourself. You are not a savior, but you might be the one who keeps the fire burning. You are not perfect, but you have just enough scars to understand, and just enough light to lead the way. It's not random that your pain showed up exactly where it did. It's not by chance that you lost exactly what you lost. There's a deeper reason, a higher blueprint, because later, when you meet someone hurting like you did, you won't just listen. You'll see yourself in them, and you won't preach to them. You won't tell them to be strong. You'll just reach for their hand, with the same hand that once trembled. You don't have to say a word. Your presence is the healing. And if someone out there is listening to this and feeling something rise in their chest, a lump in the throat, a tear that won't fall, a nameless tremble in your spirit, that is the moment of remembering. You're remembering who you've always been and why you came here in the first place. Please believe me, every time you choose not to give up, you help an entire soul system find its way again. You are part of collective healing. You are the quiet light. You are living proof. That kind souls still exist, and they have not been forgotten. Have you ever felt like you had to go through something first, so others could follow after? If so, share a small story, not to boast, but to help someone out there feel less alone, because your comment might just be someone's lifeline tonight. In the final chapter to come, we won't talk in theories anymore. We'll step into a real story. The journey of a Sagittarius soul who walked through awakening and whose quiet presence somehow changed an entire generation. Don't miss it, because in their story, you may see your own, and the fact that you're still here, it says more than 1,000 words ever could. It says your soul has heard, it is stirred, and it is ready. You don't need to understand everything at once. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need your heart to whisper, this feels right. And if there's one truth that runs through this entire journey, let it be this. You, the Sagittarius, you did not come here just to live. You came to awaken, to clear the path, to live a life that becomes someone else's inspiration. Just because you didn't give up. Thank you for walking with me this far. Thank you for staying even when the message became too real, too deep, too close to places you've been hiding from. Thank you for giving yourself the chance to feel, to reflect, to remember who you truly are. And if you felt every word in this video resonate in your soul, then you're not just a listener. You are the chosen one, and you are ready for the next chapter. This journey doesn't end here. What you just experienced was the calling phase. Ahead of you is the activation, where your soul's potential begins to take shape. in specific areas of your life. Love, who will truly walk this next chapter with you. Money, if the universe supports you, could abundance be the energetic reward? Destiny, are those strange dreams lately actually signs? Soul connections, why did some people leave? Just to help you grow? All of it will be revealed in the next part. Now, this is where I ask with love but with power. If this video awakened something in you, if you shed a quiet tear, if you finally felt like you're not alone in this journey, hit the like button, leave a comment, share this video with the person who needs to hear it. Right now, you may not realize it, but you could be the reason another soul wakes up today. And if you've been wondering, why does Sagittarius keep being called? In this divine cycle, what's opening up that others haven't seen yet? Then don't miss what's next, because we're about to decode the deepest signs of this cycle and reveal why that open door you're sensing is only for those brave enough to live authentically, to keep walking, and to become the highest version of who they're meant to be. I'll see you there. You're not here by accident, and you are not ordinary. You are the flame keeper, and this world needs you more than you know. If you're ready, just write this one sentence to lock it in with the universe. I'm ready to step into the next chapter of my soul. We will meet again at the right moment, on the right frequency, with the right calling from my soul to yours. Thank you deeply, truly, always.